Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jashoda Nandana Jayo Braja Jana Ranjana Jashoda Nandana Jayo Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Privrajacharya Statadasata Shishimat. His Divine Grace La A.C. Bhaktividya Swami Maharaj La Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Segaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Garadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopagopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kundi Giri Govardhana Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki. Shri Mayapur Dhama Ki. Ganga Mai Ki. Jamuna Mai Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Tulasi Devi Ki. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki. Janitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Uchur Avyavasita Matin Gopan Gopis Chabalaka Rudatanena Padena Kshiptam Etan Nashamshaya Uchur Avyasita Matin Gopan Gopis Chabalakan Rudatanena Padena Kshiptam Etan Nashamshaya Uchur Avyavasita Matin Gopan Gopis Chabalakan Rudatanena Padena Kshiptam Etan Nashamshaya. Uchu said, Avyastita Matin, who had lost all intelligence in the present situation. Gopan, to the cowherd men. Gopi cha, and to the ladies. Balaka, the children. Udata anena, as soon as the child cried. Padena, with one leg. Kshiptam etan, this cart was dashed apart and immediately fell dismantled. Nashamshaya, there is no doubt about it. Translation. When Mother Jashoda and the other ladies who had assembled for the Uttana festival, and all the men headed by Nanda Maharaj saw the wonderful situation, they began to wonder how the handcart had collapsed by itself. They began to wander here and there, trying to find the cause, but were unable to do so. The assembled cowherd men and ladies began to contemplate how this thing had happened. Is it the work of some demon or evil planet, they asked. At that time, the small children present asserted that the cart had been kicked apart by the baby Krishna. As soon as the crying baby had kicked the cart's wheel, the cart had collapsed. There was no doubt about it. Purport. We have heard of peoples being haunted by ghosts. Having no gross material body, a ghost seeks shelter of a gross body to stay in and haunt. The Shataka Asura was a ghost who had taken shelter of the handcart and was looking for the opportunity to do mischief to Krishna. When Krishna kicked the cart with his small and very delicate legs, the ghost was immediately pushed down to the earth and his shelter dismantled. As already described, this was possible for Krishna because he had full potency, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita 5.32. Angana yasya sakalendarya vritti manti, pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti, ananda chinmayar sarujvala vigrahasya, govindamadi purusham tamahang bhajami. Krishna's body is Satchidananda Vigraha, or Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. That is, any of the parts of his Ananda Chinmaya body can act for any other part. Such are the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord does not need to acquire these potencies. He already has them. Thus, Krishna kicked his little legs, and his whole purpose was fulfilled. Also, when the handcart broke, an ordinary child could have been injured in many ways. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He enjoyed the dismantling of the cart, and nothing injured him. Everything done by him is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, full of transcendental bliss. Thus Krishna factually enjoyed. The nearby children saw that actually Krishna had kicked the wheel of the cart, and this was how the accident happened. By the arrangement of Yoga Maya, all the gopis and gopas thought that the incident had taken place because of some bad planet or some ghost. But in fact, everything was done by Krishna and enjoyed by him. Those who enjoy the activities of Krishna are also on the platform of Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. They are liberated from the material platform. When one develops the practice of hearing Krishna Katha, he is certainly transcendental to material existence, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Sagunan samadityaitan, the Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Unless one is on the spiritual platform, one cannot enjoy the transcendental activities of Krishna. Or in other words, whoever engages in hearing the transcendental activities of Krishna is not on the material platform, but on the transcendental spiritual platform. So Krishna, being the eternal absolute truth, the supreme Brahman, then he is full in all opulences. That what makes him the supreme Brahman. Brahman means what's transcendental, the greatest. So the source of all the energies, the source of everything, that's the greatest. So that's Krishna. So he doesn't have to develop these qualities. He doesn't have to work at it. He doesn't have to do yoga or meditate or do whatever it is that people become God nowadays. Right? He already comes as God. He already is God. So even though he's a baby, still he has full potency, and things will work exactly how he wants. So even though he's a baby, he kicks the cart will be broken. Right? It's just the way it is. And because he's arranging everything, then he won't be hurt by anything that happens there. Because generally if a cart falls apart, there's a lot of problem. People get hurt. Right? So everything works according to how he wants. That's it. His energies perfectly fulfill his desires. And his fulfilling of his desires is always wonderful, because then we see, as Prabhupada talks about, he's enjoying himself doing this pastime. Therefore, all the devotees, when they hear these pastimes, they also will enjoy themselves. That's the whole thing, is the connection with Krishna. That because he's enjoying, that's why you'll enjoy. So he enjoys the pastimes with his devotees in devotion. So hearing about those, connecting to Krishna in that, you will also enjoy. That's the point here, is that Krishna is always transcendentally situated. And so, therefore, he has no miseries, no material miseries. Miseries found in the material world. Because if you're dealing with happiness, you'll also get distress. Right? But on the spiritual platform, you only have ananda. You don't have whether something mechanically works or not. Right? Ananda means that it's in connection with Krishna. Krishna, his desire is being fulfilled, and that desire is the loving exchange with his devotees. So, that happening, Krishna is happy. Then we become happy. Right? So we see is that the secondary aspects aren't the main thing. That's why you see like Lord Chaitanya talking with Ramananda Rai. That Ramananda Rai, he asked him what's the highest platform of consciousness, what's the highest activity, this. And so he mentions about performing your duties according to Varnashram in service to Krishna. And Prabhupada explains that this is correct, and that the whole idea is that you're supposed to remember the Lord. And everybody, no matter who they are, in whatever position they are in, they can engage themselves in service to the Lord. So in that way, it's correct. But the weakness comes is that you also have those who are following these rules and regulations simply because of the material benefit you'll get from it, the karma mimamsakas. And so they'll think that just by doing their karma mimamsa, that is the highest platform. So therefore, based on this principle, then Lord Chaitanya rejects this. He's not rejecting Varnashram, as is the common misnomer. He's rejecting the idea that it's the Varnashram itself that makes the devotion. No, it's performing your duties to please the Lord that has the devotional aspect. So just to make that distinction there. Though many, uninformed individuals, they always take it that, oh yes, Varnashram is rejected here, right? Even though we see the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita, every instance Lord Chaitanya is following Varnashram, and it's mentioned, right? It's specifically mentioned. You know, that whole discussion about, when Lord Chaitanya sits on the dirty pots and Mother Jashoda's, because we're Brahmins, we're clean, the Vedic society, we do like this, and Lord Chaitanya is arguing, and then he accepts that. Then he gets Mother Jashoda to follow, properly Ekadasi, the Chaturmas. As a grihasta, he needs to be married. Unmarried grihastas, how you say, popularly known as bachelors, is not a strong position, right? You're either a brahmachari or grihasta. So if you're a bachelor, you're a grihasta, but you're just without a wife. So you don't really move forward nicely. Does that make sense? So it's not a strong position. Right? It means if you absorb yourself in Krishna and all that, okay, then that works nicely. But then the focus has to be on that. If its focus is on, I'm independent, I do what I like, the brahmacharis have to do this and that, I can do whatever, it's a very weak position. Because either the temple authorities are telling you what to do or your wife is telling you what to do. Right? The point is, work under authority. Right? You understand? That's the principle. Right? So, yeah. So we see Lord Chaitanya is following very nicely. But the point comes down is that one may make the mistake to think that it's because I'm doing my duties, I'm following Varnashram, that's why I'm a devotee. That's not. So Lord Chaitanya wants to take it higher. Right? So then he says, okay, then the offering of the results of the work of your in Varnashram, then that is there. And so that's better, but then the point comes up is then you're offering the work and then you think, then now it's done. Because you can offer the results of your work and actually still not surrender to the Lord. It means you know Krishna's God, He's the Supreme, and everything belongs to Him. It's all working by His arrangements. So out of that appreciation of that gratefulness, then you offer everything to Krishna. Right? But that's why the jnani is still considered as a neophyte. Right? The four kinds of people who surrender to Krishna. So the jnani is the top. Jnani doesn't mean someone who's on the path of jnana marg. It means someone who is knowledgeable about God, His position, and that gratefulness towards God, they serve God. Right? So that means they'll offer the results of what they're doing to the Lord. Right? But it still doesn't mean that the devotion has developed so much. Right? All these positions, it can be done in pure devotion, but Lord Chaitanya is pointing out someone can make the mistake because I'm doing this, therefore everything's perfect. Right? So then he's taking it further until he gets to the point where he says that then he takes up renunciation. Okay, so then you give up all these things and that way then elevate yourself above the material contamination. But then you can also make the mistake that just because impersonalism or renunciation, therefore I'm advanced in Krishna consciousness. So it's not till he gets to the point of that surrender to the Lord by taking instruction from the Lord's devotee. Right? At that point, then Lord Chaitanya says yes. Right? So he's not rejecting Varnashram here. Right? I'm making this point again and again because I've heard this point since back in the 70s. Oh yeah, we don't follow Varnashram. Lord Chaitanya rejected it, like that, every time. So the point is that he's trying to bring out is that you be following, but why are you? It's because you've heard from the spiritual master. He's telling you how to serve Krishna. And then in that way, according to your position, you're engaging in Krishna's service and offering everything to Krishna. So the point is the surrender is there under the direction of the spiritual master. Then all these lower things have meaning. Because as Prahlad Maharaj points out, you can follow all the nice things of Varnashram, but if it's not done to please Krishna, it's a waste of time. But how will it be a pleasing to Krishna is when it's being done under the direction of the spiritual master. That's then when it starts to become. Otherwise, Varnashram on its own, so many people follow it. But they don't impress Krishna. They're pious. They're better than the average person. They're humans. But humans are still in the material world. Right? So like that. Then we have to go beyond. So here's that the point is Krishna does everything because of that devotion that's there between the Lord and the devotees. The secondary aspect of the performance of duties and all that, it needs a form. Right? It means you want to manifest something, you need a form for it. That's just the way energy works. You want to manifest a meal, then you need pots and pans. You need a fire. You need some matches. All these different things. But it's not that because I have matches, then we have dinner. Someone says, wow, I'm hungry. And I go, I got matches. It's not going to work. So the point is these things are for serving the Lord. One has to see that. So the Lord then, he performs these activities in some way to express that exchange between him and the devotees are the same. That's why it's pastimes. Krishna doesn't have to do this, otherwise he won't get paid. He won't get fed. Right? He does this because it's an opportunity to interact with the devotees. And that pleases him. So all the secondary arrangements are there to please him. So then when we hear about these things, then it pleases us. Right? Because we're connected to Krishna. You see? So the primary is Krishna's desire, the interaction with the devotees, and then you have the form of interaction, the situation, the ingredients that are there, the mechanics of how they interact, all that's there. So that is ananda, right? Material happiness, or sukha, then means what is the quality of the ingredients that I'm working with? How well do they fall into place? How well are they manipulated to get the particular external result from the mechanical method that I'm looking for? That's called sukha, right? So we're not seeing the connection with Krishna. We're just seeing the secondary. Just like how well it went. How well, I went into the kitchen, everything was there. The pot, it didn't stick in the pot. This and that, the things were there, I didn't drop anything. So it was great. The cooking was great. But then everybody else in the next room, when they take the bite, is going, so what's this? You understand? So I'm going on, it was just the cooking technique was fabulous. How it unfolded, this and that. I was doing all the things, flipping. It was all happening. When you're hot, you're hot. It was all going on. But we're not worried about, is Krishna pleased, the devotees pleased, this and that. That's sukha. And so then the problem with sukha is then you get dukkha, you get unhappiness. Because when you find out that nobody liked what you cooked, then you're upset and this, and how do they don't understand all the Philistines and Cretans and, whatever it is from whatever country they're from, that they don't appreciate, all the effort and this and that, and somehow or another I'm the victim, like this. So it just goes back and forth. This is just how it works. That's sukha. You deal with the mechanics of the material world, the perfection of those mechanics. You base your happiness on that. Then sometimes you'll be pleased, sometimes you won't. It's just how it works, because mechanics don't always work. And we see in the Krishna's pastimes, mechanics don't always work great. But we always see there's ananda. Why? Because it's connected with Krishna. And it's creating the variety in Krishna's pastime. So we have to be able to appreciate this difference in these two. So this whole thing that the secondary, that I use varnashram, I don't use varnashram, how well I used it or not, that's not what defines devotional service. Devotional service is defined by how well it's done in Krishna's service. How well we've done it to please Krishna. That's the actual point. We're trying to please Krishna, we're doing our best, then that's how it works. That's the important aspect. So that's what Krishna's looking for. In the material world, we're looking for so many things, our prestige, our economics, or so many different aspects we're looking for. And you can have them, but the problem is to have them, you have to be here. Right? The spiritual world, they don't have, Nanda Baba, when he goes to, Mathura and pays his taxes, he doesn't have any U.S. dollars. He doesn't have any euros. He doesn't come in, to pay his taxes in there and goes, wow, I got 500s this time, hey, check this out, I don't have any of those old bills. These are crisp, No. So they don't have any of this stuff. Why? Because they don't need it. Right? Here we work with it. You have to maintain the body and everything like that. So we're going to work with it. But it's not the place where we look for our happiness. It's not the place where we look for how well it's going in this area. It's a matter of how well is it going in Krishna consciousness. How are we developing Krishna consciousness? How much we're becoming detached from the material engagement and attached to Krishna. That's the point. So this is then what Krishna is looking at. So he's always the full Supreme Personality of Godhead. He just has these different ages in which different tastes are there, different devotees are involved. Like these pastimes, then it's going to be Mother Jashoda is the prominent. Right? His Kumara Leela, Mother Jashoda is the prominent. Then the Pauganda Leela, then from 6 to 10, the cowherd boys are going to be the prominent. Mother Jashoda is still there. And then from the Kaishore, then that's going to be the gopis are the prominent. Mother Jashoda is still there, the cowherd boys are still there. So all of them are there at all times. But it's just who's the prominent, what is for. So that time is very pleasing there. But all devotees will appreciate the exchange of rasa between Krishna and the devotees. So therefore, Prabhupada's pointing out, it's very pleasurable to hear these things. You know, how he does and all these nice things. He's crying for his mother, but at the same time he's killing a demon in the process. That's how he's getting the attention, right? Because she can't hear him crying, right? Generally, baby cries, mother hears. But because it's such a big festival and so many people and musicians, this, that, she can't hear. So he kicks over the cart. It's got plenty of stuff on top, all kinds of metal things and this and that. It falls down with a huge crash. Everyone notices. Now he gets her attention, right? You know. So that's the whole idea. It's just a nice exchange, right? Like that. Yeah. Yeah. So when we are accustomed to this and we're comfortable with this level of discussion about Krishna and the pastimes and his interaction with the devotees, then we also, as Prabhupada points out, will be on this Chinmaya Rasa platform. We go beyond the mundane, beyond the material. Then it becomes perfect. So that's the idea. Any questions or comments or something? There, yes?
I have a question about working under Krishna's spiritual master's guidance.
Okay.
You said we should follow national dharma, but we
You have to turn it on. Strange, but true.
Yeah, is it working now?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
working.
Should I repeat the question from the beginning? Or just go
Yes, because that goes to everybody who's not here.
on? Okay. Yeah, so, my question is about following the Varnashram Dharma to please Krishna.
Right.
And it said that you do that by following what spiritual master tells you what to do.
Yes.
But, for example, at the West, mundane activity and spiritual activity, they go separate. So let's say
That's only due to not understanding. You know, it's just like if you're not very good at cooking, then the potatoes and the pan go in different directions. You know, or someone's not very good at their bicycles, so they're going one way, the bicycle is going another. You know? Does that make sense? So, like that. Though the tree stays in place. That's the thing. The tree always is very fixed. So this idea that there are two different things that can't go together, that's also lack of understanding, lack of training. Because we have to remember is that we say the West, means technically it's just some latitude and longitude, right? The Bhumi Devi is still Krishna's. It still works. The laws of nature are still the same over there. These laws are Krishna's laws. So that means what Krishna says and his laws, since he's eternal, his laws are eternal. So it's just a matter of if you're educated, you follow. If you're not, you don't. So it's just a matter of appreciating that it has to be applied. It may be a little bit more difficult to see, but you can get adjusted to it. You know, everyone gets adjusted to so many situations. So it's just a matter of seeing what is there. Why something functions, like the car is working here in India and the car works in the West, it's basically the same thing. Right? Does that make sense? You know, if it's the Flintstones, slightly different. The wheels are the same, but you know the propulsion is slightly different. Does that make sense? Yes.
Yeah, but then how to become educated? Because sometimes, like, you go to a spiritual master and you ask him, but he says, "I'm not a businessman. I don't know what to tell you about that." Like,
so, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. That just means you're honest. You haven't thought about how to apply it in that context. So, if brahmacharya asks how to engage brahmacharya or a vanaprastha, and they may be able to say, or certain things in the grihastha life, you may be able to say in the ashram side. Because generally devotees understand ashram better than varna. Varna is just how you maintain your ashram. That's all. It's the social aspect. The ashram is the spiritual aspect. So generally devotees are quite good in that. Right? So it's just a matter of, Prabhupada talks about it in his purports and everything. It's just meant, why do you have an occupation? It makes money. So what's the money for? Right? So then how is that connected to Krishna and service to Krishna? Even if you don't see the work, the result of the work you can see. So that's the nice thing about the the Vedic culture and the philosophy, even if you don't understand the whole process, you can start from the end, from the result, because the ultimate goal is Krishna. So you've done your work, you connect that the result of your work to Krishna, who's the ultimate. So rather than making money the ultimate, it's Krishna. So how to connect the money to Krishna? So then that everybody's connecting. So it's not just businessmen. They make the money. They don't necessarily, spend it. Some do, some don't. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of seeing then how it's explained, how it's done like that. So the Gita explains all these things nicely. The chapter is Karma Yoga, and then the third chapter, the fifth chapter, and then technical points are in the further chapters. Like that. So you see the purports, you find those who deal in these areas, and then they can give some, or if it's a matter of who is a businessman and who is advanced in devotional service, ask them how they do it. Like that. You understand? But the point is that you're being Krishna conscious, you're surrendering everything to Krishna. That is the principle. That you're getting from the spiritual master. Some of the details you can hear from someone who has knowledge in the area. Does that make sense? So it's not that he has to micromanage, like how you're going to brush your teeth. Is it up? You're just doing the down ones, or you're doing the circles? Which way you're doing the circles? And things like that. How many times? No, you don't have to ask him that. So, okay. Okay. Something else? Yes. Okay. Have this side. Yeah, some switches there somewhere.
Okay, it's on.
Okay, thank you.
So I was thinking about Jambavan.
Okay.
He was fighting with Krishna for such a long time, but it wasn't that he had the idea, let me please Krishna by my fighting.
Yes.
But Krishna was pleased.
Yes.
And then he became more conscious. So does that principle apply in our lives?
Surrender, no. So, am I going to become a devotee? Okay. Is that Jambavan, in principle, you're going to, anything that's there in any of the pastimes, any of the instructions, the principle of it is going to apply to us. Right? Detail, you have to see the difference. So Jambavan, he's one of the main players in Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. And Jambavan is such that he's not just, it's just one time around kind of like we are. He's Chiranjeev, which means he lives as long as Lord Brahma, like that. So he's been around forever. So when he's at the Ramachandra's pastimes, then let's say when they're building the bridge, he'll be there in ecstasy, recalling to the others there how last, time they did it like this, they went to Lanka, and the time before like that, and another time like this. So, we're at 151 trillion years, half of Brahma's life, so he's seen the other half, right? So he's always there. So then it's by Krishna's arrangement, his yoga maya, that he didn't know, because otherwise, who's going to fight with the Lord, right? Especially when you're dealing in anything lower than Braj, because there's always that aspect of majesty there. So there's going to be that aspect of respect in that. It's difficult for them. So like Jai and Vijay, then they're covered. And then here, Jambavan, he's also covered. And then they fight for 28 days, because who else could fight for 28 days? You understand? And so then after that, then because of his effort and all that, then Krishna reveals. But the principle of we do service and Krishna reveals himself, that's standard. We can't know by knowledge, by academics and that. You see constantly that the Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas are making the point that scholars can't know Krishna. Like in TLC, when they're talking about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya himself knew. Prabhupada mentioned because he was a scholar, he should not have become a devotee. It's just straight up front. But because he got the mercy of his brother-in-law, Gopinath Acharya, his blessings, he was hoping somehow or another Lord Chaitanya would turn him into a devotee, because he was, such a Mayavadi. He was like beyond hope. And so then because of that, Lord Chaitanya then blessed him with pure devotional service. So this idea, because I'm smart, I'm organized, or I'm wealthy, or whatever quality, material quality we think that's what's going to make us Krishna conscious, that's what makes us excel, it's all wrong. It's simply the sincere desire to please Krishna. Then Krishna reveals himself. So that's why you have that mukam karoti vachalam pangulang gayate giryam. People who absolutely can't function in that area, by Krishna's grace can. So that's the important thing to know. You can engage. Now you see a Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya now can engage his scholarship in Krishna's service very nicely. But it has zero to do with scholarship. Like sometimes the mistake is made that the jnani in Artar Tarti Jigyasu and Jnani, of those who surrender to Krishna, jnani means they were in knowledge, they were scholarly. No, Jigyasu is scholarly. Right? They want to know, but they're only interested to know. But it doesn't mean that they're actually serious about it. The jnani, why he's different, he's considered jnani because he's in knowledge, because he understands the position of the Lord. And therefore, then out of gratitude, he tries to serve the Lord. That's the point. So it has nothing to do with your academic ability. Very different than as generally work. Oh, why did you become the guy, Like I remember I was talking with one devotee and mentioned the point about, what impressed me the most in Krishna consciousness was the halava, right? And I knew a huge amount of devotees, they said the same thing, So it's that they eat the halava and they knew, this is where I should be. Not so much, because there was something different about it. It was, you've tasted things, but this has a whole different... So one was aware of Krishna consciousness through eating, all right? And this devotee no, I wasn't like that. I was a jnani. But they were trying to present it that I was intelligent and I was searching for the truth. That's the jigyasu. The jnani is the one who they see Krishna's God, they see he's the plan, and then he surrenders, but he's still a neophyte because it's still about himself. It'll start from himself and then connect to Krishna. So they're actually that's a more advanced position. So it's not if you're looking and want to know, and you're jigyasu. So one has to see is that. So this point of the jnani means one who knows could be anybody who has that sense, and he surrenders. He appreciates and then surrenders. So that example of Jambavan and that, then anybody can do is they under the direction of the spiritual master try their best, and then Krishna reciprocates. Because technically, can Jambavan fight with the Lord? No, Krishna's unlimited. Jambavan means, I think, originally I think he may have been the strongest living entity in the universe as far as physical strength. But because he used to go crazy, when he was young, it's like the demigods would be doing there, and he'd be flying around like this and doing stuff like that. They cursed him to be old. So even though he's super strong, because when you're old, it means even though you have the strength, you'd rather sit down. It's just like, that's the option. It's like anytime you're standing, you look around for a chair, any place to sit, even though you could stand. But, so therefore then he wouldn't bother the demigods in that. But it doesn't mean he doesn't have his strength. So like that, he's super strong, but still, he's not as strong as Krishna. So it's just Krishna's pastime. It's the flavor of fighting that's important, not the actual thing. It's just the flavor, using the various techniques and, tasting whatever there is to taste within that chivalry, that aspect. So that aspect then becomes important to Krishna. That's why then he interacts. And then because of that sincere effort, then Krishna reveals. So that's any devotee, by whatever position they're in, applying that to please Krishna, then that's how Krishna will reveal. Does that make sense? So yes, anybody can do. So you don't have to stay up, not sleep for 28 days and fight with the deities like that. Okay. Okay. Yes.
I was really appreciating what you said about actual varnashram means to please Krishna.
Yes.
So I was wondering, is it another also very authentic and important aspect of true varnashram that we would be honoring everyone in the society for whatever contribution they're making? Is that also...
Yes. See, is the whole point of the first thing means in Manu, then the first chapter is establishing the law. That's its first position. And because it's establishing the law and going through that, and it starts with creation. It starts with Krishna, then the primary creation, and brings it down to Brahma, the secondary creation. Then having made the living entities and all that, then he brings out that then in that, then there's laws that are governing everything. So because the law is made, Brahmins are created to protect the law. Because people are made, therefore then the Kshatriyas are created to protect the people. Because the cows are then made, then the Vaishyas are created to protect them. And then the Shudras are there to assist in those three activities. And so then that means then the law, so then that law, then that's the point is it's connection with Krishna. That's how it comes down. That's how it's connected. So then the point is then the law, it has its 25 different categories of what it discusses. And so the first point that it makes is that, someone who follows the law, then that's important. You associate with them. Someone who rejects the law, won't follow the law, that you generally try to avoid them. Like if they're devotees, then you'll deal properly and all that, but you may not, invite them over for dinner, Then when it actually starts, then the full discussion, then it opens with the brahmacharis, right? Because then you're going to go brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, right? So then when it opens with brahmacharis, the first thing to establish is respect. That's the first principle in the Vedic culture is respect. So that means respect means there's certain categories, they must be respected. You have knowledge, you have influence, you have wealth, and you have, let's say, fame or an age, like this. And so then, in this, then there's a hierarchy of them, right? So then, knowledge is going to be the highest, then influence is going to be next. Your relations, family relations and all that, you always have to respect that. Someone with wealth, who's more wealthy, has to be respected. Someone who's more famous or more skilled or elder, because generally if they're older, they know things like that. It even mentions if someone reaches the age of 90, everybody respects them just because they're 90. Because there's a certain mentality that's there. Because it's like, how you say, as someone put it, at 90 one foot's on a banana peel, the other one's in the grave. You know it. It's just any day now. So they look at the world very differently. They're not trying to improve it. Even at 80 you might be trying to, but at 90 they just, no. It's just you're on borrowed time. So you're good. And so the perspective that they'll give, how they'll direct, how they'll speak, is always, valuable for the community. So then the point comes down is whoever has any of these that are higher or lower or more of them, you have to judge all that together, and that places somebody. That's how you establish. So the point is everybody's respecting somebody. It's not because I have this and it's the highest, therefore I don't have to respect anybody. Point is let's say the Brahmin, he has knowledge, but he doesn't have influence. The Kshatriya has influence. So the Kshatriya will respect the Brahmin for knowledge. The Brahmin will respect the Kshatriya for influence. But of the two, the Brahmin is higher. Because knowledge, if you're influential but don't know why or what to do with it, that's a problem. Or you have money and it's not governed, it's a problem. Or you have knowledge and skills, but it's not applied in something that actually produces something for the society, it's a problem. So you have to have the hierarchy, but at the same time is you have to respect others for that. So someone might be a Shudra, but he knows his stuff. And so then it's just like, let's say, in the shop, they're selling cloth. So, right? So the stocks are down, and so it's time to buy new stock, right? So now, if it's a big shop, then you're going to have so many salespersons there, and so you're going to ask them, what's moving now? What are people interested in? You're not going to go, I'm the businessman, I know everything, so I'll buy whatever I think. You're going to ask them. They're there, they see how people go. They see what they looked at, what they bought, why they bought it. You know? So they know that, yes, everybody liked this design, but in that quality, they didn't have the money. So, you know, I had 20 people last month wanted that sari, but couldn't pay that price. But if we had the same designs or in something in cotton over here, they'd all buy it. So you have to respect. Like that. So whatever someone can do, they have to be respected for that. But this whole, generally the problem comes down is, one, just in the material world, because of the desire to control and enjoy, everyone wants to be the one, right? But you see, as you go out of the Vedic culture, it becomes even worse. So if you have any position, you don't have to, I'm the boss, you know, at the company, I don't have to respect anyone. I'm the supervisor, I don't have to respect anyone. You know, I have, you know, something's gone wrong, there's a sense of justice here, so because of that, that's now my authority, I don't have to care for anybody's position. Or it's just, you know, saying we always find some reason that I don't respect anyone else. But Lord Chaitanya has mentioned we become stable in devotional service when we're able to maintain a humble mood because we're servant of Krishna. And we're able to respect others and not look for that respect ourselves. Then we can always chant. Otherwise, if we're proud, we can't chant. That was the previous point. The academics, they're generally proud. That's the problem. So that's why they're unqualified. It's not because they have knowledge that's unqualified. It's because they're proud. You know, it's just like the big businessman is proud. Very few of them surrender. The professional, he's proud. Hence they go in the category called Naradama. They have the opportunity to take up Krishna consciousness, but they're the last ones to. So they're lower than the Muda, which is just, he's just a, you know, how you say? Ordinary bloke or a payasano, or, you know, if that means anything, you know, like that. So they're worse because they could take it up, but they don't. Does that make sense? So generally one of the common points is they don't have any respect for anybody else. If you're bigger than them and can make trouble for them, then they'll respect you. If you're bigger than them but can't make trouble, they don't care. So it's just, you know, we've grown up in that kind of environment, so we have to put a little extra effort into it. So that's why we see is that, let's say, another example, you know, bringing into the spiritual context, and not even the, you know, we've discussed now the social context, but then in the spiritual context, it's just like in general, if someone's a Diksha Guru, we respect them. If they're a Siksha Guru, we don't. It's the same problem. And we think of my Diksha Guru, I respect them because I'm special, therefore then everybody has to respect my Diksha Guru like I am. You know, that was a big problem back in the 80s, right? But that doesn't mean then you throw out the whole system. It's just that people have to know is that they respect people for their position. If someone's a preacher, they have that knowledge, they have to respect that. They're able to preach and that's respected. And so then, you know, so then you can have different relationships with different people and all these different aspects of respect and balance it all. So it's not just they're respectable and everybody else isn't. That, you know, that's easy. But it's that each person you respect for their position. Then that takes practice, that takes effort, that takes training. And so if that's there, then you'll see is with time, but it'll take years to establish something like that. That's when you're starting, when it's even appreciated that it should be done. But you'll get some immediate results, but to see that it's always working at all times, even if things aren't going well, right? Because when things are nice, it's easy to be gracious, but when things aren't, you tend to be a little grumpy, you know, like that. So it takes time to practice it. And different people they'll be easier in one area to be respectful, but another area not. And so it'll just take time. But if it's understood and appreciated, then it'll move forward. So that's the natural, Vaishnava society naturally has that. So, okay?
So it seems as though there are two very important key aspects to authentic varnashram.
Right.
One would be doing what you do to please Krishna,
Yes.
and the other would be the humility that Lord Chaitanya taught, that
Yeah.
every member of society has to be honored for whatever they do. Like we have gratitude to the person who collects the garbage or the
Right,
person who
right.
fixes the toilet.
Yes.
That I honor you. And it seems like the whole varnashram falls apart when that humility is not there.
Yes, yes. But I mean, it's like you said, it's two. Of the two, that cultural aspects, the manifestation of the good qualities, those are in support of or subservience to the devotion to Krishna. So it's because you're doing it to please Krishna, therefore all these good qualities to manifest, that's when they have their importance. Otherwise, you will find people in society around the world, here and there, that they're respectful to other people, but they're not devotees. But the difficulty comes up is that because it's not connected to Krishna, it will have that speculative aspect. When they apply it, when they don't, it'll be there now. After 10 years, it may not be there. So it's not solid. But the devotees, because they understand its connection to Krishna, then they can actually maintain it. They can sustain, because we always talk about sustainability. It's only sustainable if it's connected to Krishna, because he is steady. Material world's not. It's always changing. So we always have to see is that they're not equal. These two, as you mentioned, these 2 points are there, but the devotion is the main. That's dealing with the direct, and then dealing with good qualities, respecting others, performing your duties properly. That's the secondary that we use to engage to please Krishna. If that balance is seen, because if you try to put them equal, it also won't work.
It seems like a manifestation of someone who is trying to please Krishna.
That's
they will
exactly.
get the realization that
That's
I need
exactly.
to. I mean, like in one place in the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that only a fool is not grateful to
Yes.
his benefactor.
Yes, exactly. So that's the whole point, is that the emphasis on devotional service is what's going to create the qualifications to be able to follow Varnashram. Because for us, it's just a social system we use. It's not, something more important than that. But it's just like anything you have. The body, the mind, the words are all engaged in the Lord's service. So Varnashram is a way so that everybody together in a unified way can engage their body, mind, and words in Krishna's service. That's the purpose of it. And so when the more Krishna conscious one is, the easier it is for them to use it. Because for us, it's the aspect of because we're cultivating pure goodness, therefore we're able to function in goodness. But if we're not cultivating pure goodness, unless we're in goodness, we won't be able to use it. And then, if you're just in goodness, then it's just ordinary Varnashram. And so then that's where Prahlad Maharaj says, then that's just a waste of time. Nice waste of time, but still a waste of time. Does that make sense? Is that good? Okay. So we'll end here. I hope. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki, Jainatai Gaur Premanandi.